Welterweight Championship, live and exclusive on Box Nation from the Copper Box Arena here at the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park in London. Your officials are appointed by the Commonwealth Boxing Council and the British Boxing Board of Control. Your three scoring judges at ringside are Mr. Phil Edwards of Preston, Mr. Marcus McDonald of Twickenham, and Mr. Dave Paris of Leeds. Your steward in charge is Mr. Charles Giles of Castle Bromwich. Your timekeeper at the bell is Bob Edgeworth. And when the action begins, your referee in charge is Mr. Howard Foster of Doncaster. And now to introduce the contestants. Firstly, fighting out of the red corner stands the former British champion. He brings with him a record of 27 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, with 11 KOs to his name. At yesterday's weigh-in, he scaled 10 stone, 4 pounds, 8 ounces, and tonight wears the red and blue shorts. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Manchester, David Barnes! And across the ring in the blue corner stands the champion. His unbeaten record reads 16 wins with 12 KOs to his name. At yesterday's weigh-in, he scaled 10 stone, 6 pounds, and tonight wears the green shorts. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting and introducing the British and Commonwealth champion from Birmingham, Frankie Gavin! Your referee will now give his final instructions to both boxers.
Okay, fellas, spoke to you both in the dressing room. You both know what I expect. Keep it clean, break straight away when told. Both you watch your heads in close. Good luck to you both. Touch gloves.
Ladies and gentlemen, 12 3-minute rounds.
Bit of an old-fashioned stare down there. Barry, when I said that Frankie Gavin fights scared, it was Tom Cheney who said that, and really it's a term of admiration rather than one of criticism. He's a classical hit and don't be hit type of fighter.
Oh, he's really elusive, isn't he? Even when he goes forward, he's elusive. He doesn't like to take any shots, and he makes you pay every time you miss. You know, he is really a class act.
Barnes in his prime was a little bit out of the same mould. Whether or not he's going to be sharp enough to really match Gavin tonight, well, that is going to be told in the next few minutes. Bob Shannon in his corner. He was in the same corner as Denton Vassell.
Yeah, that's right, yeah, so he'll be looking for a little bit of revenge tonight. But what Gavin mustn't do is let Barnes get into a rhythm. He is definitely a rhythm fighter. He's technically very good. So Frankie Gavin needs to be right on Barnes.
Dave Caldwell, who's managing Barnes nowadays, says that he has looked sharp in the gym. Bit of difference between gym work though and the genuine item, and he's moving right back to the top of the tree here with Frankie Gavin, who a fair few judges think would have a very good chance against Cal Brook were he to ever step into the ring with him, Frankie Gavin being among them.
Well, he's technically good enough to mix it with anyone, isn't he? It's just, you tend to worry about the natural size and strength maybe. He looked strong in his last fight, but he never looks like a true welterweight. That would be the only criticism of Gavin. But he's maturing into the weight, and he's looked phenomenal. He couldn't fault him, could he, in his last few fights.
A few punches behind the back of the head, and the referee Howard Foster just trying to get a hold on this one. And it disintegrating into something unpleasant. David Barnes had his breakthrough fight back in 2003, 10 years ago now, when he won a real tough contest against that renowned hard man Jimmy Vincent. That was a good performance.
He's had a few, hasn't he, in his career, David Barnes. He's turned it on sometimes, a little bit special. And he's 32. He's not an old man by any means. So
he was good that night. He beat James Hare in Halifax 9 years ago now. Would you believe? Where the years gone?
Tell me about it.
Nice start this from Gavin. Looks confident and assured.
I think especially with two southpaws, it always takes a while to warm up, doesn't it? And obviously because they're both like to counter punch.
Well, Gavin will be used to it. Only high-class amateur. He'll have fought plenty of southpaws over the years.
even though he hasn't really landed with many clean shots, Gavin, it's been a little bit scrappy. He's doing the right thing by keeping the pressure on David Barnes, not giving him the opportunity to get into any sort of rhythm once he gets that jab into play. Once he starts flowing on his feet, Barnes, he's hard to knock off it.
Barnes has been a champion in the past at welterweight and at light welterweight. Bags of experience, been a pro since 2001. And a round in which kind of feeling each other out. I just had the impression that maybe slightly the better work coming from Gavin.
Yeah, well, he just put the pressure on, didn't he? He tried to make the fight more than David Barnes. So that's why you
need to go over the top of that backhand and then finishing the fight. Easier on it. I was punching the back of the head of that. Yeah, a little bit more pressure on the front foot with a couple of jabs. Try and make a couple of jabs. Yeah, he's walking around to the one side. Get out of it. Yeah. What do you think, mate? Good. Easy that man, yeah.
Kerry Kay's the fella in the specs in that corner without the baseball cap.
The shot is go over the top of his lazy jab, yeah. Force it, try and face, fight with the shoulder a bit more. Every time you fight him, he's jolting. He looks fearful and you look too aggressive and tight.
Advisor in the nutrition of Frankie Gavin, who by his own admission has been a bit of a junk food addict in the past. Age of 27 now though, Gavin knows that he has to move on and looking to get that Lonsdale belt, a prized possession if he wins tonight.
And Barnes still showing he got fast hands. You know, Gavin landing with a jab, he's countering straight away with his own jab.
I think it's helping Gavin, you know, that he's staying so busy. This is his third fight this year. Keeping him in the gym, keeping him sharp, keeping him focused.
Yeah, keeping his mind on the game, isn't it? That's all it is. And you know, he's been the better fighter for it. You're right. And not having things his own way in this round. With Barnes showing he's, you know, still elusive, ducking, twisting, turning Gavin when he can.
Cagey sort of affair at the moment.
And that's what Gavin wants to do. He tried to do it then, but when he makes Barnes miss, he needs to throw 3 or 4 punches straight away.
Nice body shot from Gavin, right hand. Birmingham City fan, isn't he, Frankie Gavin?
Yeah, I think he's a big Birmingham fan, isn't he?
Did for Sheffield Wednesday today, good lads.
Landing with a lead right hook there, Gavin, just a minute ago, but still nothing really clean landing from either fighter, is it? Barnes landing with some decent jabs, but he's happy to frustrate Gavin, isn't he? He's happy for Gavin to take a risk.
Gavin with 12 stoppage wins in his 16 victories. Maybe a little bit of a sharper puncher than sometimes he's given credit for. Another fairly close round, but Gavin perhaps just having the edge.
Just. Really to give it to Gavin, but only just only because he's on the front foot. No one really landed with clean shots.
Yeah, but you know what, it is pace. Take him out the comfort zone. Yeah, take him out the comfort zone. Every time you punch, he's dipping to the side, you're going over the top. Hold your feet and bring something wide and low, yeah? Yeah, because when it comes up,
All our fights for you going the distance so far this evening. This might be another one.
You need to go over the top, get over the top with that hand. Over the top with jab with your backhand and then finishing that body. Boom, boom. You don't need grabbing in there. You don't need to be grabbing in there. Let them do that. I don't want any knocks and bumps here. What? He's not holding on. Yeah. You're too good. Come on now. Let's go. That's just strong now.
Frankie Gavin first started boxing when he was 12 years old. Walked into Small Heath Amateur Boxing Club. And Tom Cheney was the man who taught him.
Yeah, and Tom Cheney in the corner then just telling Gavin, you know, when Barnes ducks down, you've got to bring that uppercut, that hook into play. Lucky, good idea from Barnes. We just want to say he's get that backhand into play and just fell a little bit short with it, but it's the right idea. And Gavin carries that front hand very low.
Barnes has been around the block a bit, hasn't he? He was managed by Frank Warren, early promoted by Frank Warren. He had a spell with Matchroom. Major upset if he were to win here, but you never know.
Oh, nice little jab there from David Barnes. Still got those nice fast hands, haven't they?
Left hand this time from Barnes. Example of the hand speed then, which you could see illustrated very clearly when he led off with that right hand.
It was just when Gavin committed, wasn't it, with the combination. He missed, but you know, he has to commit at some stage, but Barnes is happy for him to do that, isn't he? Happy to counter him. A little bit of a bruise, it looks like, under the right eye of Gavin. Good right hand.
There's a good chopping left as well from Barnes, which connected on Gavin.
Sorry, that's what I meant, left hand.
Oh, it's a marked little swelling underneath that right eye, and they're going to have to go to work in the corner. Pretty sure it's a punch that did it. One of those left-hand counters from Barnes. Decent round this for Barnes.
Yeah, he's boxed quite well, hasn't he? Countered well. Frustrated Frankie Gavin for the last few rounds, and that round it paid dividends for David Barnes.
Yes, get this backhand off. Just fighting one-handed. Come on, get up and up. Yeah. You're allowing him to give him at his pace. It's him one set high. It's him high, yeah.
Well, Kerry Kay is working away on that as best he can. The worry has to be, though, as this fight unfolds, as we saw with Lucas Matisse last week in his fight, that the eye could potentially swell up, and if it does so, how much of a factor would that be? Hopefully it's not as bad as that was.
Well, Gavin, he carries his right front hand very low, doesn't he? But it's usually just against orthodox fighters who you only got to worry about is the jab. But obviously with David Barnes not being another tricky southpaw, it's that sharp backhand, left hand of his. And he carries a little bit of weight in it, doesn't he? So Gavin's going to have to change a little bit of his tactics a little bit. Just keep that left hand a little bit high, a little bit more feinting when he's coming forward for me.
Good round, that third round for Barnes. First two, not a lot in it. Third round I thought was clearly for Barnes.
Yeah, that was the clearest round for anyone, wasn't it? The third round, that was for David Barnes. First two, just give it to Gavin, nothing much happened today, give it to Gavin on sheer, just trying to press the fight and going forward.
Nice left hand from Barnes. Once more catching Gavin after he committed to that right hand lead.
And that's the problem he has, isn't it, at the moment? Frankie Gavin's a counter puncher. He's having the lead, isn't he? And obviously Barnes is a counter puncher, and it's suiting him at the moment.
Interesting to see what happened if Gavin chose not to lead.
I don't think much would happen. Yeah, it'd be a little bit of stalemate, wouldn't it? So someone has to make the effort, and it is Frankie Gavin doing that. Just maybe throw a feint in, then spin, just change the angle ever so slightly, then attack.
That nice, sweet little left-hand counter from Barnes. Left-hand counter, rather. Fairly quiet round again.
Yeah, not much in it, is there? Again, no one landing really clean. Barnes landing with a few good jabs.
Body shot from Gavin, last scoring punch of the round, which was not an easy one.
No.
Are you on the fence? Is that level or?
No, I just give it to Gavin for making the effort. Going forward. He could have easily been picked off, maybe, but no one landed any clear shots for me.
Go first with it. Yeah, go first with it. 2-1. Go 2-1 handed. Let's get this jab up the top. Let's just him at distance. Bam, to distance. You're getting him here, you're getting there, yeah.
3 out of 1. He's getting tired, isn't he?
Listen, mate, let's start getting these head punches up. Confidence with the left hand. Once you get this confidence with the left hand, it's all going to change, yeah?
He's tired, isn't he?
Yeah, he's tired. Listen. Up the pace a little bit more. The pace a little bit more.
I'm not tired, honestly.
No, I know you're not tired. You need to start punching from the top.
Yeah.
The top. Let's hit some head chops. Nothing here.
Seem to be doing a decent job controlling that swelling. Barnes very much in the fight, though. One or two whispers in some quarters about what he'd actually done to deserve this opportunity. Well, justification may be in the performance so far. Barnes is right in this.
I don't think that left hand to the body's going to work for Gavin. Not from range anyway. Barnes too quick for him to counter that every time. And also throwing single shots as well, that's better. See combination shots.
Doubling up on the jab that time.
Yeah, it makes it difficult for Barnes to counter, doesn't it? When you can counter one shot quite comfortable. Left hand.
Yeah, good shot. It's more like it from Gavin. In and out with the combination and out of distance for the possible counter.
And that might be the key for Gavin, is to throw maybe not power shots, just snappy shots, no combinations. Make Barnes feel like he has to come back into the fight, and then he comes forward, then you got him. Nice little counter right hook there from David Barnes, and a jab as well.
David Barnes being told in no uncertain terms that Howard Foster won't put up with it, and he's having a little word with Frankie Gavin as well. Well, wanted to touch gloves, and Frankie Gavin was having nothing of it. He was ready to take him out rather than touch gloves.
He's in his right to do it. A little bit distasteful maybe, but he's in his right to do it. Good left hook.
It was Mayweather who did that against Ortiz, yeah. Wasn't it? Defend yourself at all times.
It's not very sportsmanlike, but it's within the rules.
A lot of fighters did it. You watch some of the old recordings of Gentleman Henry Cooper. He wasn't averse to hitting on the break. Right hand looked as though it was a little bit low, and the referee saying so as well. Well, Frankie Gavin showed himself to have every bit of macho intent to win this fight. Look, bang.
Frost.
Have that, mate.
Not a bad shot either, was it? It was a full-blooded left cross as well, wasn't it? It wasn't a little rangefinder, and Barnes took it well, not expecting it either. And that spice the fight up.
In all his eye contact, you know where you are. Hit him here. Right, listen. Start getting that jab at the top of the shoulder. Don't flick it out. Drive you out.
Push him back like a hand with the hand.
No, don't walk down with that.
Don't move. Move the head back.
Give me that still, please. That's a better round. Listen, another big round here, yeah?
Right, you better start working now. You know, come on, it's not a sparring session, this. Come on, step in with it. Start stepping that, right? Don't push him back. He keeps going back, doesn't he?
Got to start working. Yes, indeed. On our card, he's 4-1 down. We move now into round 6.
Yeah, Bob Shannon was right when he's not a sparring session. He's comfortable in there. Barnes just took a good right hook off Gavin, but he looks comfortable in there. But he's just could do a little bit more work, couldn't he? He's not out of the fight, is he? By no means, David Barnes. And that's better.
Not doing enough to win rounds, though, is he?
No, but I can always remember Barnes, even though he was always like this. He used to throw some nice flashy combinations, didn't he? See some of that, some of the old bands. All the moves are still there.
Now 32 years old, though, David Barnes, and it's been a fair few years since he's really produced at the highest level. He had that fight against Vivian Harris, didn't he, when he wound up on a technical draw after a head clash. There was talk about him going to fight Ronnie Heffron last year, and then there was the car smash. Really, you've got to go back a fair few years to find out, you know, when he was the David Barnes that you remember as being such an outstanding young talent.
Yeah, but you know, he hasn't looked out of his depth against Gavin, who's another exceptional talent. So he hasn't. No, he's still got some moves. A little bit, a little bit negative. Just needs to let that left hand go.
Gavin trying to go to work it well here, brings his right uppercut in. Fighting almost one-handed, isn't he, David Barnes? There's precious little coming from that left-hand side. He does finally let it go.
It lands. No, I think he carries. I think he's a more spiteful puncher than Frankie Gavin. But sometimes when you're a defensively good fighter, you're almost happy just to make people miss. And then it looks like the sparring session, as Bob Shannon was saying. Lovely jab though. Really fluid, isn't it, when it goes out?
Gavin's defence since he won the title against Jason Wellborn and Danton Vassell. This is an altogether different set of problems that's in front of him. Much more elusive, slippery fighter.
Yeah, Frankie hasn't done much in this round either, has he? He just tried a little combination, didn't land with anything.
Well, a less than enthralling 3 minutes. halfway stage.
I get that round the bands.
Not a lot in it, though, in all honesty, was there?
There's not much landing, is there?
Almost a goalless draw.
You landed with that decent left hand.
More shots, yeah. More shots, yeah. More shots. Get that jab going. Bam, bam.
Keep your head still. Keep your head still.
Keep your head still. Bam. Keep there. Don't fall on top of it. Yeah. So when he comes up, you can go again. Yeah. You've got to go over the top of his jab, Frank.
You're looking for the big left hand.
Yeah, I know, but Frank with your shoulder, draw it. Draw it. He's not attempting to throw it at all. Yeah. You're not. You've got to draw it. Put one on it and then stop it. Then go. 2-1's a shot, mate. Corners.
Halfway stage, you got Gavin 4 rounds to 2 ahead.
Well, if Barnes wants to change the tide of the fight, he needs to start being a little bit more proactive, doesn't he? He needs to start getting that left hand into play a little bit more. And getting some more rhythm, movement into his work.
Well, that one really good round, didn't it? The third, I think it was, where he was able to land 3 or 4 times, pretty flush. Once on the jaw and a couple of times around the eye of Frankie Gavin. And as a result of that, the bruising that you see there, that right eye of Gavin, that they've done a good job working on in the corner. Not a great fight so far, though.
No, styles have clashed, haven't they? And not in the way we hoped.
Gavin was told by his corner to work away to the body, throw some faster shots.
I still do think just a little feint for Gavin just before he throws. Just a little half a step with the front foot, and then let your hands go.
So a reminder, still coming up, we've got the European heavyweight title fight involving Derek Chisora, and the main event, last on the bill, British and Commonwealth middleweight championship, Billy Joe Saunders and John Ryder. Plus the pro debut of Georgie Keane and the big ticket seller Frank Buglioni.
Again, Gavin's still trying to make the fight, and Barnes just intent on just throwing that jab out and don't let that left hand go.
He's going to win these titles. Barnes is going to have to raise his game. Just not doing enough, Barry.
No. Nowhere near enough.
Start fighting like it then, aren't you? You make all this moving and dancing around and complaining, and you're looking at the ref and looking at me. Look at him and sort this out. You're going to sort this out? Well, I hope you're going to do. We've worked hard together, 2 times British champion. Come on. Don't look at anybody else but your opponent at all times. You're listening. And start working. Don't have regrets when you go back to that corner, like most fighters do. I haven't got any regrets. I've trained you right. You've got to work for this. He's a champion, you're the challenger. You've got to go out there and take it off him. Get them jabs working, that left hand down the middle. Come on now. Don't have regrets. Let's do it now. Come on, let's do it now. Come on. Let's do it.
Well, that's a bit of a riot act coming in from Bob Shannon for David Barnes. 5-2 down on our cards. Barnes needs some rounds. Bit of complex individual, though, hasn't he? And you heard there Bob Shannon saying, don't go looking at me, don't go looking at the referee. The man in front of you is the fellow you've got to deal with.
Well, Bob Shannon's no nonsense, isn't he? Bob Shannon, and honest as the day is born, and he's telling it like it is.
Low punch, right hand from Gavin. Barnes will be given time if he wants it. But he's okay. Fight goes on.
Gavin just getting a little bit of a spring to his step now. Maybe he'll get some more fluency in his work.
But there's still precious few clear punches landing. Just explain to viewers, when you get the southpaws like this, Barry, why is it technically that so often it doesn't work?
Well, I think a lot of it is they dip to their left and then come back with the left over the top, but you can't do that with a fellow southpaw, because they're not throwing the hand you're used to them. They're coming at you to evade. And also, if you've got two counter punches like this, no one wants to commit, but they're both sharp, they both got very fast hands. They both got good reflexes, so no one wants to commit to it. It makes for a scrappy, horrible fight.
Referee, I'm sure Howard Foster would love to do something to try and sort this out, try and make it into more of a spectator-friendly confrontation. At the moment, I'm afraid to say it's anything but that. Good jab that from Barnes.
Yeah, and I thought a good left hand as well got through from Gavin at the same time. Barnes taking centre of the ring, but still not really being too proactive. Just flicking up the jab again, happy to just throw the one punch.
Well, another disappointing round.
Yeah, it's not great, is it? But again, another round from Frankie Gavin. For me, anyway.
Looking for some drama in it, it's just not there at the moment. 8 rounds gone. And a disappointing fight. Gavin maybe just doing enough. He's been the one, arguably, who's best been trying to force the pace that little bit more. Nathan Cleverley at ringside, who said that despite that defeat, he will be continuing his boxing career. We'll hopefully be hearing from him a little bit later on.
Longer up the top.
You've almost gone, you know, if he hits it again, it's done it in.
No, it's not, mate. Come on, keep it down, keep moving. Yeah. Right, continue. Come on, cheer up. Come on. Listen.
Definitely winning.
Yes, come on.
Definitely.
Listen.
Win if we lost every round.
No. We haven't got, I want to win every round. Listen.
No.
10 seconds. Listen. 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Well, he's telling him to get out there and win every round, whether or not that's because they really believe that it's close, or whether or not it's just a psychological ploy to rev their man up. That's what Gavin's been told. As we go now into the 9th, and the referee having a bit of a word before the action starts. Let's hope there's a bit more of it.
Well, you think there'd be a little bit of both, wouldn't you? You know, the rounds be very uneventful, so, you know, sometimes somebody sees, or the judge will interpret it that, and also, you know, they just want to fight it up as well to finish the show.
Well, I just don't see that Barnes is doing enough here to take a man's title. He's got to surely dictate more than he has done.
Well, what he's got to do, and as we've been saying it from from round 3-4 onwards is let that left hand go.
Has he thrown one yet in the first minute of this round?
No, nice little right hook by Barnes then. A nice double jab counter in reply from Gavin. And it's confusing, isn't it? Because Barnes has had success with that left hand. When he's thrown that left cross, he's landed with it most of the time.
It's a lovely left hand from Gavin.
And the movement to get out of the way after was really, really slick.
Nice lead off right hand from Gavin. It doesn't really have the drama, this, of a title fight. You wouldn't think that 2 belts were on the line.
Again, look, there's 2 counter punches and they're just trying to tease each other to go first. No one taking the bait. But in these sort of rounds, it's been Gavin, hasn't he, tried to make the effort, tried to be proactive when nothing much has been happening.
Precious few clean punches landed from either side, though. It's a bit of a standoff this 9th round.
And that's testament to their defensive skills. Now, they're both quite elusive to hit, aren't they? But I honestly can't remember that David Barnes throwing a three-punch combination.
Well, again, I'm afraid to say, a rather forgettable round.
Yeah, that could be another round for Frankie Gavin.
On the 12 3 rounds, you've got to win every one. Come on, you're not going to win them doing that, are you? Not working the jab in your 2 hands. Listen, we're going to go back in that dressing room. You're going to be saying, you know, by him going in the 3rd round, you let him off.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yep.
You've got 3 rounds to put it right. To get that tie cut back. Well, you won't. Come on.
Yep.
Come on.
Only round up, would you say?
Very true. You were winning in the 3rd round, but that's 1 round.
Let's just concentrate on the ones
and for
in
me,
front again now, like we did
if
last
he wins the
time.
next 3 rounds, he's still a round out.
Play nice and silky with them
Point
feet.
down,
Go
I should
get
say.
it. Get that jab up the shoulder. Really get there. Bam, bam. That love. 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Good lad. Big it long, mate. Punish him.
3 rounds left. David Barnes is going to win this title. On the far side of the ring, the Mancunian, 5 years Frankie Gavin senior. If he's going to do it, he's got to have 3 very, very big, persuasive rounds indeed. Barnes suggesting a clash of heads, or was he thumbed? I'm not sure. Didn't look very happy.
I think it was a clash of heads as Frankie was just coming in, Frankie Gavin.
A lot of posturing from Barnes, threatening to let that left hand go, but never actually doing so. If you didn't know better, you'd think that he got a broken hand.
Yeah, or he was struggling for pace, but he looks sprightly enough, doesn't he? He looks like he's got a load of energy, and that's the worst thing in the world, to lose a fight and have loads of energy. You've got to leave it all in the ring, haven't you? Leave it all in the ring. Again, except for a few jabs off David Barnes, I don't think any punches have landed by either fighter so far.
It started in a not particularly dramatic manner, had its moments, I suppose the third round when Barnes did well, and then it's become steadily less dramatic since then.
Yeah, it has, hasn't it? Almost let the left hand go there, David Barnes.
They thought about it and then didn't.
Teasing us.
Well, the crowd's been fairly sympathetic towards this one. I've certainly been at events, particularly over in the States, where I've seen this sort of thing, and there've been a lot of boos and hoots of derision. It's not fallen down to that sort of level yet, but this has been fairly soporific stuff.
No, but for me, David Barnes won that round on his jab, I think. Which, by the way, his jab has been exceptional tonight. But that's all he's thrown.
You've got to strip in with that big left hand. You're not throwing it. Is your hand all right?
So,
Come on, you listen. You've got to, because that's going to keep you in the fight now, isn't it?
yeah.
2 rounds. You're well behind. Come on. You've got to win these. Come on.
It's not bad, let me know.
He's been busier.
Okay.
He's been busier.
Go my way.
You couldn't have got a better start if you tried, could you? That third round, you just went to sleep. Listen, David. You've got 2 rounds now. You've got to get that backhand. It's all punching. One down the middle. Straight down.
I won't be able to carry on the pain.
That's why I'm asking you, be still with your feet and punch at length and adjust your feet when he comes in and drag him around the ring then. Yeah?
Bob Shannon, Barnes' trainer, asking the same question we did. Is there anything wrong with that left hand? And Barnes saying no. And Bob Shannon saying, in that case, get in there and land that big backhand, the left hand.
I guess in a way, you know, Barnes is an intelligent boxer, and he knows that if he misses with that left hand, he's going to have to pay, because Gavin is very fast and very accurate. So you understand the not wanting to take too many risks, but at the same time, you know, it's gone to that stage now where if you've got to take a risk to win the fight. But it's gone way past that stage. Good left hand there from Frankie Gavin.
Got to put Gavin down on my card anyway if he's going to win this one, David Barnes. That's not been achieved before. I can't see it happening here. Barnes is at least trying to cut off the ring, and you can see he's going looking for it.
Again, doing a lot. No, he's doing the right things with his feet. He's stalking Gavin, but not letting his punches go again. Well, he's done a good job tonight, David Barnes, of frustrating Frankie Gavin, but it's okay with frustrating the guy. You've got to throw the punches back. You've got to make him pay for making mistakes, and he hasn't done that.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's going to be people saying, you know, last real opportunity maybe to win a British title. Surely you've got to risk more than he has.
I think he'd be disappointed in himself. That he just, you know, it looks like for me that he could have given a lot more. And I think Bob Shannon feels the same way.
Well, for the second time, a Shannon fighter is coming up short against Frankie Gavin.
Well, you've got to forget, Mike, Gavin's been quiet in some rounds as well, hasn't he? You know, he hasn't always been going forward, you know, looking to do lots of work. He's sometimes been throwing single shots and being a little bit negative himself in stages. So
it's been a poor fight, truth be told.
They've both been guilty of, you know, wanting things their own way. They both wanted the counter punch. But if anyone's gone to make the effort, it's usually been Frankie Gavin, and that's why he's been winning the rounds.
Still things don't really step up, and just one round now remaining. How do you score it, Barry? Or don't you?
That's an even round, John. I couldn't think of anyone landing any shots.
One stronger. Yeah, one stronger. Don't let him walk you down.
That's round, Frankie. Keep nice and clean now.
Let me get those, please.
You want a swing now, you reckon? You are? No, he'll come. If he opens up, you'll counter him. That's what you've been trying to do all night. He hasn't opened up all night. That's why the fight's been like the way it is.
Number one.
Yeah. Yes. Let's get over this line now. One good round, yeah?
Been terrible performance, so.
Listen, let's get over it. Let's talk about it in the gym. Tricky. No one's opened up, neither of you. Neither of you have opened up yet. Been too cagey.
10 seconds. You've got 10 seconds.
You get the impression there, Frankie Gavin getting a bit down on himself. He knows that he's not pleased the fans tonight.
Well, he knows it hasn't been a stand-up performance, is it? But, you know, just styles of clash, that's all it's been. Just one of those things.
So, last round. Now, what have we got here? We've got a split glove? Or is it a...
Just a bit of binding, John.
Thank goodness for that.
It'll catch fire now, you watch.
I don't think so. On Barry Jones's card, Frankie Gavin is the leader by a long way. Neither fighter has really been seriously hurt at any stage.
They'll always be able to land clean, are they? And that's testament to the elusiveness of both guys, to be honest. But it's been hard. The fights where nothing much happened. Just for me, you've got to give it to the guy who's making the effort, who's trying to make the fight, and that's been, for the best part, Frankie Gavin.
Howard Foster's had quite a busy night.
Yeah, he's done a bit of work tonight, haven't he? And keep him busy.
That's a nice shot from Gavin. Right hand from Gavin. Sweeping shots, getting applause from his corner.
And again, another round where it's Frankie Gavin again, isn't it? Making the effort, trying to land with the shots, trying to throw the combinations. And the lovely bit of skill there, wasn't it, from David Barnes?
It can happen, can't it? You remember, think back to Joe Calzaghe's career. Remember when he fought David Starry? You know, you can get these fights where it just doesn't work. Certainly for Frankie Gavin, this is one when I suspect at the end of his career you look back, he'll say, well, that wasn't exactly his greatest night. David Barnes seeing it through to the final bell, but never really for us at any stage, except maybe momentarily for a minute or so in that third round. He's never really looked as though he's going to win this fight.
Just missed a good right hook there, didn't he, from Frankie Gavin. But Barnes he takes a shot, doesn't he, Barnes, as well? So I think Barnes will be disappointed. He left a lot in the ring tonight. I'm not saying he would have beat Frankie Gavin. I don't think he would have, but he left a lot in the ring tonight.
Heads again clash. Several times we've seen that. The bell ending what was not a very good fight. Both fighters, I think, know it. Frankie Gavin, for us, has won it, but not very pretty. He got it by 5 points in Gavin's favour, Barry.
Is that what it is?
Somewhere around that region it's got to be. Don't think you could make any sort of a real argument for David Barnes having won it.
No, there was a lot of rounds, weren't there, when there was nothing much happening, and you know, you just got to edge, like I keep saying, you've got to edge the guy who's just making the effort, I think.
I think both guys, Gavin particularly, would be aware that, you know, it's the entertainment business and it's not really done it.
Yeah, you know, they both like fighters to come onto him, especially David Barnes. He's an elusive counter puncher. He wanted Gavin to just keep running at him. Gavin wasn't going to do that, and Gavin wanted the same from David Barnes, and he certainly wasn't going to do that. So that's why it ended up being a bit of a disappointing fight from both parties.
So cards being totted up, and I think we've got the verdict more or less, and the fighters being brought together. Frankie Gavin just having a look across to where we were and saying, how have you got it? Well, so far as we're concerned, Gavin wins it by around about a 5-point margin. Let's see how the judges have got it. Fighters drawn together by the referee Howard Foster, and here now is Mark Burdis.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecard. We have a unanimous decision. Judge Phil Edwards, 118-111. Dave Paris, 117-112. Marcus McDonald, 118-112. The winner, and still the British and Commonwealth welterweight champion in the blue corner from Birmingham, Frankie Gavin.
Frankie gets it then, Frankie Gavin.